It is Wednesday. You know what time that is? Wednesday. Last night, a committee of friends, foes, and Dawn from the Bud list met in a lovely lair to churn, kid, fight, toil, burn that midnight oil and deliver the best segment in all sports television. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, as always, Kevin Wildes. But it is championship weekend almost, which means we are approaching the end of the 2022 NFL season and the end of tiers. However, we'd like to get all 32 teams involved, so we have some categories for teams. They are tiered within the categories, and then we will get to the final four.
Okay.
We will start with devastating disappointment. Wow. All 8 of these teams had real, not only playoffs, but many of them championship aspirations. And I know what you're thinking, Nick, the Saints. I know someone who picked the Saints to go on a real deep playoff run, sitting on my right. I know someone who picked the Cardinals to make the Super Bowl. He's sitting on my left. Yeah, they were actually playing the Raiders in that one. And then, of course, at the top, the Rams and Bucks. You won Super Bowls, congrats. Now you're in the wilderness for the next half decade in the NFL. And then, of course, the Buffalo Bills. Those banners do fly forever, however. Preseason favorites beat the Chiefs in October back-to-back years, but the years ended in tears. Not those sets of tears, actual tears. Yeah, you're down the face. Next group. Yep. Stillborn.
Come on.
Sorry, you can't make me be interested in these teams. You just can't. There's nothing you do to make me interested in them. Falcons, trade for Lamar. Colts, hire Jeff Saturday. I'll at least be interested. Make them interesting. Otherwise, it's just boring. You're going to win 7, 8, 9 games, and nobody's going to care. Next, Crossroads. All right, all of these teams have either serious questions to answer about the future of their coach or the future of their quarterback. And all 6 of these teams almost assuredly are sticking with the status quo for next season. However, barring a deep playoff run by any or all of these teams, whichever teams don't have a deep playoff run, there will be major changes at the tops of those franchises. Next, excited and optimistic. These teams didn't all make the playoffs. In fact, 2 of them were the 2 worst records in the league. But they had, for the Bears and the Texans, you have cap space and you have the top 2 picks of the draft. The 2 New York teams were 2 of the biggest surprises in the league. Lions and Seahawks. Seahawks made the playoffs. Lions maybe could have made the playoffs. You have real reason for optimism. And then, of course, sitting at the top on his royal throne is, of course, the Prince, with one of the most optimistic futures in the league. Now we are down to the final 4 teams. Joe, Jamar, and Lou. Let's be honest here, America. The Bengals have no reason to be in their 2nd consecutive AFC Championship game. They have no reason to be favored in the AFC Championship game, except for the fact they drafted a franchise changer in Joe Burrow. They have the best receiver in football, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. And they have the most anonymous but impactful coach maybe in the entire league in defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. So anonymous, I think I just mispronounced his last name. However, there's been a lot of lately kind of like, hey, why didn't he get any head coaching interviews? The answer is I don't know. But what is true is, whether it was against Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert or Lamar Jackson, what Lou Anarumo has done against the best quarterbacks in football is one of the biggest reasons the Bengals are here. They come in number 4 in the tiers. Number 3, committee shakeup. So here's the deal, America. We have one long-standing committee member who will remain nameless. It's Elijah, who all year long has every meeting. Don't believe in the Eagles, guys. Here's why they're not going to win. Guys, here's why Jalen's all year long has been feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. And because of that, it is possible the committee had ranked the Eagles slightly too low throughout the year. We shall see what happens. But if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, committee heads will roll, America.
Wow.
I promise you that. And then at number 2, team that started the year number 2 on the tiers and likely ends it there, an all-star team. the San Francisco 49ers. We've talked about the fact, they have the Defensive Player of the Year, Nicky Bosa. Yeah, but then they also have Javon Kinlaw and Eric Armstead. They have the best linebacker in football, Fred Warner. Yeah, but then they also have Dre Greenlaw. They have one of the best safeties in the league in Hufanga. Yeah, but then they also, in the defensive backs room, have Jimmy Ward and Javarius Ward, two great corners. On offense, Debo's great. Yeah, but Brandon Ayuk's awesome. Their backup running back, Elijah Mitchell, is great. They have George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. This is a true all-star team, and they're proving it by the fact that Mr. Irrelevant is 2 games away from winning the Super Bowl. And then, of course, time is a flat circle, America. The disrespected dynasty. And I know what you're thinking. What dynasty? We'll see if you're asking that about 2 weeks from now, when this team's won 2 Super Bowls and been to 3 in the last 5 years, made the Final Four. We put Tom Izzo in the College Basketball Hall of Fame for Final Fours. We don't even care about it when the Chiefs do it. They're home underdogs? Okay. The rest of the NFL, Greg, will rue the day when they give the Chiefs the one thing they've never had before, the ability to play the nobody believes in us card. For the first time, they have that. So there are the Conference Championship Weekend tears, Greg Jennings. What are you laughing?
I'm laughing because
what?
Did we not just do a segment on Brandon Beane, and now all of a sudden we got a Brandon Beane?
What do you mean?
On the committee?
Why?
Like, are you kidding me? Everybody has a Joe, Jamar, and a possible even a Lou. Every team above them.
What do you mean?
Let's go to the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you got Jalen Hurts. You got A.J. Brown. And then you got, what's my man? Jonathan. You've been doing it. Yeah. Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the all-star team. Mm-hmm. You have anybody at quarterback.
Okay, well that's...
You have anybody at quarterback, then you can just go through that little cycle of names that you just said. Debo, McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk, all the above. And then you got DeMeco Ryans. And then you got the Kansas City Chiefs sitting atop the tiers, disrespected. They're going to get disrespected by the Bengals. But they have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and then Spagnuolo. Like, stop it. Did you sound like Brandon Beane? What? Oh, yeah, they had an opportunity to take advantage of their draft picks. Like, so did you. And the Bengals have beaten you 3 times. And they're going to again beat you in the AFC Championship game this weekend. So I'm not going to apologize for having 3 guys on my roster. That makes us better. Every team has 2 guys, a quarterback and a receiver. That makes them so good.
I've got to say, and I usually don't do this because Greg usually is, the second best part of the tiers segments each week. However, I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I am not. My point is, I think those 3 guys are so exceptional that they are here despite the fact they don't have a lot of other great players on the team. The Eagles, yes, they have that, but they also have Devontae Smith, the best offensive line arguably in football. We know how many players that the Niners have. The Chiefs have Andy Reid and the greatest quarterback ever. I think the greatness of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Lou Anarumo it's carried the Bengals to this point, and they're not coming into Kansas City and winning. You know better than that, Greg Jennings.
Yeah,
you know better than that. Go ahead.
They haven't done that.
One time in overtime, like Wildes would say, do it in regulation.
Facts.
That's Wildes' take. It doesn't count if it didn't happen in regulation. Go ahead,
All right,
Drew.
Nick, I will not let you get away with this foolishness.
Get away with what foolishness?
These playing on words like you're doing, disrespected dynasty. Well, let's look at it. You're saying they will become a dynasty in a few weeks when they win the Super Bowl. They're not a dynasty now, that's for darn sure. And if they win the Super Bowl, they won't be disrespected. Everyone will give them praise. Everyone will give them flowers.
Really?
But yes, absolutely. If they win this second Super Bowl against a great NFC team, against a team that everybody loves all of a sudden, including me, the Bengals, they will get mad praise. And here's the thing, dynasty is way too strong. It's a burst. It's been a burst. Now, there is a Patrick Mahomes era. I'll give you that. Okay. But this is a burst. LeBron in Cleveland was not a dynasty. Chauncey Billups in Detroit was not a dynasty. Kurt Warner with the Rams was not a dynasty. Russell Wilson with Seattle was not a dynasty. This is no dynasty. Neither have the Chiefs.
But I'm telling you they will.
But they won't be disrespected at that point.
But here's the problem.
They'll be praised.
But you say that. However, I have to listen to you say if they win the Super Bowl, they won't be disrespected. Well, the previous Super Bowl they won, I've heard roughly, let me check my notes, 37 times this year from that side of the table, they'd have 0 rings if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't overthrow a ball. If Kyle Shanahan knew, you guys always will find a way. And also, to be clear, I am not saying they become a dynasty in 2 weeks. I am saying they became a dynasty the moment they drafted Patrick Mahomes.
That's my point.
Want to be very
they
clear.
are not a dynasty under any definition.
Some of us can just see what's coming down the tracks.
I would like to go back a few steps and argue that the Patriots do not belong on the still boring tier.
Okay.
I would like to move us up to excited and optimistic.
Why?
For 3 reasons. Reason number 1, all year you made fun of me because our offense was run by Matt Patricia, his pencil, and Joe Judge. Well, Belichick made the move, and we got a real offensive coordinator. In fact, best offensive coordinator in the last 2 decades, according to points per game.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. Okay. Reason number 2,
Good point.
the year 3 bounce. I don't know if you've ever seen the Fade to Black documentary with Jay-Z, but Jay-Z is in the studio with Timberland. He said, "Do you have any bounce?" And Timberland says, "Coming up." And he goes, boop! And you know what plays? A soundtrack of Mac Jones, year 3. These 4 quarterbacks, year 3 bounce. Josh Allen, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, all got better year 3. That's what I'm expecting from Mac Jones, the baby go. And finally, little division turmoil. We spent several segments on this show talking about the Bills salary cap. Maybe they're in a little bit of dysfunction. Who knows what's going on with the Jets? And maybe all these rumors swirling around Miami. Looks like the Patriots primed to take over the AFC East. So I do not want to be in, still boring. I want to move to excited and optimistic. And gosh darn it.
Hey, Nick, I'm with you. Can I say something really quick?
After
everything that you just said? After everything you just said? Yep.
Yeah, still boring, man. That's the Patriots, Bill O'Brien. That was great. Ratings bonanza.
When they go out and get D-Hop, they really not going to be boring.
Run duo and power some more. We're in 2nd and 6, boys. Good job.
Okay, I was doing that when you were talking about the Bills salary cap and the D-block. Are people sleeping on Jalen Hurts? The whole show is about who's being slept on.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.